All right, everybody, we are back just like we are every single day here on the Cabral Concept. As always, thank you so much for being a part of this health journey that we are all on. Every single weekend, I'd love to be able to answer your questions. Typically, we're getting to about 10 each and every weekend, 5 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday. And today, well, as I always say, it's no different. Let's dive into today's questions on all things wellness, weight loss, weight gain, anti-aging, high performance health, and really everything in between. If you have a question, I'm going to do my best to answer it on the Cabral Concept. And that's that. So let's dive into the first question. First one is from Jacqueline. And Jacqueline says, hi, Dr. Cabral. Thank you. I've been feeling better already. Part of school in my IHP and IHP2 curriculum. Here are my issues. Started with a detox for 2 weeks. I had congestion after shake and mucus in my throat, which is usually what happens with gluten and dairy sensitivity. I noticed dandelion root, which also came up in my food sensitivity test. I use 1 scoop now, and I also take a multi, also the fruit and vegetable blend, all the grasses I have issues with, so I can't do that. Question is, I'm sensitive to the CBO protocol and taking all the stuff, daily detox, C, D, zinc, magnesium, Metavolve. Will the CBO protocol help these food sensitivities after I finish it? These supplements are foundational and I want to be able to use them. Thank you again. I'm so blessed to have found this program. Jacqueline, we appreciate you being a part of IHP and glad you're already feeling better, even though you've really just gotten started. So amazing work. And yes, the CBO protocol, which stands for Candida and Bacterial Optimizing Protocol, is built to rebalance the gut microbiome. We've been using this for well over a decade now in the practice, and about 7 years ago was kind of the final formulation after all the different trials we've been doing, and it works amazingly well. We've used this with tens of thousands of people all over the world, and also thousands of practitioners using it with all of their clients as well. So yes, that is ultimately what it's meant to do. So you do the CBO protocol, and then you use the CBO finisher, which heals and seals the gut wall. That begins to allow the immune system to calm down. And then after that, the food sensitivities begin to hopefully dissipate. So that's what we've seen over and over in our practice. Go slow. And I would also recommend using the HIST Pro. You can use 2 capsules at all 3 meals if needed at the highest level. And that has quercetin, that has a lot of these things with help with these sensitivities. Or you can just do 1 capsule with breakfast and dinner, and that would work as well. All right. So hopefully that's helpful. I want to make sure I answered everything, especially since you're part of our IHP community and you're doing so great. But yeah, CBO protocol, CBO finisher, keep working with your coach, keep sticking with it, ease things in slowly, titrate in. You're doing great. All right. Next up is Audrey. Audrey says, hi, Dr. Cabral. I have 2 questions regarding food labels. Is peanut oil considered one of the dangerous seed oils? It is listed with pecans, Brazil nuts, and almonds in a mixed nut bag. Okay, let's answer that one first. So yes, peanut oil is not an ideal oil in any way, shape, or form. So peanuts and the oil itself can have some of the highest levels of mycotoxins and mold. Besides that, it's quite inflammatory. So not one of our favorites. All right. That's the issue. Yeah, they sometimes mix all of these things together. Really, the healthiest way to eat nuts is raw nuts. Now, you can't eat raw peanuts, can't eat raw cashews because they're legumes, but raw nuts are the healthiest way to consume them. Or you can get sprouted nuts, make sure they're mold free, because when they get wet, you can get mold, and a little sea salt on them is totally fine. All right. Number 2 are oats that say glyphosate free, but not organic, safe to eat. There's a brand called 7 Sundays that I love and has amazing ingredients, but it does not have the organic label, but does say glyphosate free. All right, so it's interesting. So, it's funny because we can't use the organic label on a few of our products, but it's not because it's not organic. It's because to get the organic label, it has to have like 90% plus organic ingredients. So, like our daily fruit and vegetable blend, it's all organic, but there's enzymes in there. And so there's no organic enzymes. That's not how enzymes are made. And so you can't necessarily put it. So all you need to do is this. It's glyphosate free, which is the biggest thing with oats. And ideally you want to have, if it can, you want them checked for mold as well, since oats can be moldy. All right. But here's all you need to do, because not every company needs to be organic. A lot of companies can't pay for the organic, but email the company and say, can you let me know if there are any other pesticides used besides glyphosate on the oats? I know it's not organic, but are these grown using organic practices? Because some farms just don't have the organic label. And that's what I would do. So I would reach out to these brands that you love and just ask them, like, is it organic? Or is it using organic practices? And that's great too. I'll go to a farmer's market and sometimes they're not organic, but it's like, listen, we use all organic practices. The soil has been organic now for like 4 years, they'll say. And we don't use any spray. And so I'll talk to them and say, okay, great. And so that's part of it, is like getting to know companies that you can trust. All right. All right. Next up is D. D says, thank you for all you and your team do. I love your test, not guess approach, but I have run out of resources from lots of testing with my medical doctor and ND. I'm hoping that you can help me out with what protocols would be my best bet in your experience. My primary symptoms is the inability to breathe. After a very stressful year, financially, miscarriage, moving 2 times, death in the family, and ultra endurance event, my body feels like it's shut down. They gave me an EpiPen twice at the hospital and put me on a PPI as they can't figure out why I'm unable to breathe for 6 months. Blood and stool testing shows no allergies, low testosterone, high cortisol, no gut issues. Working with a breath coach and done the 21-day detox, where I now feel about 25% better. For context, I was a high-performing, health-conscious 40-year-old male strength and conditioning coach. Okay. Yeah, happy to help with this. So here's the thing, is that, and I mean no disrespect with this, but not every practitioner practices the same way. You didn't run the big 5 labs. And again, you don't need to run the big 5 labs with me, but I would absolutely work with an IHP level 2, soon to be IHP level 3s as well, or my team. And the reason is that this is most likely, this is most likely, if you run a minerals and metals test, a 4 low on your electrolytes, and it's low cortisol levels. And you're not producing enough norepinephrine and or cortisol. That's, again, I can't give you any treatment plans, medical diagnosis, medical cures, medical advice in any way. But that's most likely what this is. And because of that also, weakened mitochondria. So we need to put you on a program to rebuild, not the adrenals, people say the adrenals, it's the HPA axis, as well as the mitochondria, to start building back the ATP that you need, the adenosine triphosphate production, which as a strength and conditioning coach, you know what that is. So that's my recommendation. If you only ran one lab, because I know you've run a ton of labs, if you only run one lab, run the stress mood and metabolism test. Yeah, that's what I would do. If not, you weren't at probably Reimagine Health Summit last year. I did a keynote speech on how to build back your mitochondria. I don't have that anywhere either because that's an hour keynote. Yeah. So but I have other shows on mitochondria as well. So I would check those at stephencabral.com/podcast as well. All right. Yeah. And so let us know how we help. But that's where we would start. Or maybe that was helpful in and of itself. Start to work on the HPA axis with the adrenals and the mitochondria for sure. But again, I don't have any of your labs in front of me, but that's where I would start. All right. Anonymous is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I listened to your earlier podcast on Ayurvedic body types of yours. The numbers, episodes 713, 907, 914, 922, 929. Okay, got it. Great. I believe I'm a Vata body type. My question is about physical exercises. Walking outside is number 1, recommended cardio in those podcasts for Vata body type. Because walking does not allow to reach and stay in zone 2, is zone 2 cardio at all beneficial or recommended for the Vata body type through incline walking or treadmill or rowing machine? This question is due to my goal of gaining healthy weight, and zone 2 cardio for Vata may not contribute to that. I'm a 40-year-old male, 5'7", 125, did the big 5, working with Equilife coach. I have candida and yeast overgrowth. I'm in the middle of the CBO, low testosterone, high evening cortisol. All right. Yeah, awesome. All right, you're doing amazing work. So love that you're in the big 5. Love that you're working with the Equilife coach. Love that you're doing the CBO protocol. Love that you found that you have low testosterone, high evening cortisol. All right. So number 1 thing that we do, fix the gut. Number 2 thing that we do is fix your sleep. So Vatas need 8.5 to 9 hours of sleep. It's a lot, I know, but their bodies run more catabolic. So you need to get in bed with 9 hours. I typically tell all my Vata clients, sleep from 9:30 to 6:30, or get in bed from 9:30 to 6:30. Maybe you only get 8.5 hours, but you're in bed for 9 hours. Relax that central nervous system. Epsom salt bath at night, not red light, like a vagus nerve stimulator, meaning relaxing the parasympathetic nervous system, breath work, all of those things to get a great night's sleep. Great night's sleep. All right. Number 2, for your cardio. No, there's no problem with the Vata doing weight training or zone 2 cardio. You just can't pin the needle, right? You can't go all out, put the foot down on the gas. But from doing zone 1 walking, you can actually move up to zone 2 hill, like inclines. No problem at all. Like no issues with that at all. And I think that that's great. And then if you want to gain weight, we're going to do that through nutrition. And yes, we're going to make sure you get enough protein, but we're actually going to be increasing your starchy carbohydrates, and your starchy carbohydrates at 3 meals per day is actually, or maybe 4 for you, is actually going to lower your stress levels, right? Going to keep your body from becoming catabolic and boost good neurotransmitter hormone levels. All right. Great work, Anonymous. All right. Anne is up next. Anne says, hi, Dr. Ball. Thank you for you and all your community do every day. We appreciate you. Thank you, Anne. Appreciate you and all the listeners to the show. It's absolutely amazing that my team and I get to do what we do. That's the truth. My 23-year-old son had routine blood work and came back with very low vitamin D and very high iron. I'm addressing the vitamin D, but I'm wondering if you could explain possible root causes for high iron and possible remedies decreasing red meat and not cooking in a cast iron pan. His GP is testing to see if there's a genetic cause as well. His total iron binding capacity and UIBC were in the normal range. Iron saturation was 58 and iron was 191, if that helps. Yeah, so I want to give you the reasons for this, especially for men or young men in general. And the big things that I always go back to is, yes, there is the genetic condition of hemochromatosis. So some hereditary disorders, especially in men, allow for a buildup and absorption of too much iron, typically through the liver. So that's absolutely, a possible issue. The other is this, is like, always don't forget if like you had a giant steak. Now, this is not always going to happen because the body can clear it faster. And it's different because ferritin would show up different on a lab test than some of the others. Like you might have higher iron levels. It's not always going to be the case, but it's possible. Like it affects cholesterol. It affects other things. So you kind of have to like take that with a grain of salt. However, that's why we look at ferritin levels. If that stored iron is high, okay, that wasn't like anything that you just ate. That's a big reason as well. The other thing is this, is that it could be from some tainted supplementation that has higher levels of iron. It's always possible. Again, that's the truth. Like some plant-based proteins, believe it or not, have really high levels of iron. Eating a lot of red meat, yes, that is a possible reason. Very high levels of vitamin C taken with high iron meals can increase that absorption of iron. So take all of that into consideration. I found that the fastest way, though, to get rid of this iron is one, to improve overall liver health. That's a big thing. So let's see, your son, I think he said it was 23 years old. Yeah. So he can actually do a functional medicine detox. He could do a 7, 14, or 21 day functional medicine detox. You can find out the details at stephencabral.com/detox, but also give blood. So give blood as often as you can for a quarter if it was very high iron, because very high iron is oxidative to the body. It's very corrosive. It's dangerous, not good. So what we literally can do is, okay, he had his blood work done. And now when he's able to, 4 weeks or so from now, give blood, and they take a lot of blood, obviously, and then you've got to build the blood back up, but that's going to get rid of a lot of iron in the blood. And then if he starts to change his nutrition a little bit, improve overall liver function, I think that's going to be quite beneficial. But again, I can't provide medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, medical diagnosis. So please do look into this with your PCP and other practitioners, but hopefully that advice was helpful. I've used that in my practice many, many times, and it has been beneficial. So as always, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into another week of the Cabral Concept. These are our Cabral House Calls each and every weekend. And tomorrow I'll be back on our Monday show each and every Monday with our mindset and motivation show of the week. Take care. Have an amazing rest of the day. I'll talk with you soon. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.